So if you're anything like me, then you struggle with making decisions. And this video today, we're going to look at the foundation, fundamental piece that will make decision making in your life much, much easier. So let's go ahead and consider that. Welcome back, YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know that right now is super, super busy with time, so I appreciate yours. If you are interested in continuing to hear this content, make sure that you like and subscribe down below. And let's get into today's topic. Today, what I want to talk to you about is the foundational piece that will make decision making easier in your life. Now, it's getting close to Christmas, and Christmas to me is about faith. And very often I think about faith and then I start thinking about my beliefs. And our beliefs are super important. It is what, in my opinion, it's the most important thing that drives your life. Everything, in my opinion, begins with what you believe about your life, about a situation, about a person, and you make decisions based off of those beliefs. Frequently, though, we're running on autopilot and we don't spend a lot of time examining those things. Typically, when we are needing to make a decision, we do one of, a handful of things. We make a pros and cons list or a cost benefits list. We might reflect on past situations and take from lessons that we've learned in the past. Maybe you get in deep and touch your intuition and try to get guidance on how to move forward in a particular area of your life. Very, very frequently, what almost all of us do is we go out to other people we know, people we love, people we trust, people we respect, and we ask them what they think about our situation is. And there's nothing inherently wrong with any of those things. As a matter of fact, doing them in an effective and healthy way is really helpful. And so it's not about not doing those things, but what I want to draw your attention to is that even underneath all of those potential options is the real belief about what you think about a situation. And so what's important in making decision making easier is actually getting some clarity on what those beliefs are. And in my opinion, again, the most powerful way to do this is through value work, values and priorities. And this is because values and priorities are really personalized characteristics or traits or concepts or ideas that are mission critical to you. What you believe is important, what has value to you in your life. That's why it's called a value. But we don't spend really a lot of time talking about this. And it's not anybody's fault. There's no blame here. Self-reflection isn't valued in our society. We're certainly not taught how to do it, but it is so important and it makes things so much simpler when you have a true north, when you have a guiding light and you've decided, like, this is what I'm about. This is what matters to me. So I want to talk and share with you the process that I went through in order to identify my personal values so that you can go off and do the same, particularly as we're moving forward into the new year, okay? So step number one, the very first thing I did when I did my value work, and again, this isn't easy, so it took me a week, right, of soul searching. But the first thing I did was I got online and I found the longest list of value words that I could find on Google. And then I printed that bad boy out. I literally printed out like 7 or 8 or 10 sheets of paper. I don't remember how many pieces of paper it was. It was a lot. And sat down with those stacks of paper and a pen. And I read through them. I read through the whole list once. And then I went back in and I read through it. And the first step was eliminating everything that I knew was irrelevant to me. Now, when I say irrelevant, that doesn't mean that it doesn't have impact on your life. I was just making a determination that this word just doesn't speak to me. It's not an important word to me. And there were a lot of words on that list. So I crossed all of those words out. Because it's easier to eliminate than it is to make decisions, or at least it is for me. Then I went through that list And I circled all of the words that really spoke to me. There were things like honesty and humor, things like adventure or freedom, words that I liked the sound of, that spoke to me in some way. And I circled all of them. Now that was a lot of words, right? And then when I had all of those words circled, I went on to the next step, and that was to combine those words into groups. So I took words that were similar, like freedom and adventure. To me, they are similar in meaning, and I grouped them together on separate lists that I then started writing out on my own. So I have this printed piece of paper that has all of these words on them that I'm making choices on. And then I have actual sheets of paper that I am writing on and grouping the words together that are similar. Trust and honesty or integrity, all of those words. Once I had groups of words, then I took all of those words and I kind of evaluated them in order of baseline importance. Like, does happiness lead to joy? Does joy lead to happiness? Like, what's the bottom of the onion there? What's the core that actually gives rise to everything else? Now, there is not a right way to do this, which is really important, because sometimes we can get hung up on feeling like, oh, well, that's not right, or this word actually means, or this is personal. It's about what it means to you. So you can't get it wrong. It's impossible to get it wrong. Make the determination of what's the core word in these groups that has the potential to lead to these other words that I do like, that are important to me. Then once I had those words, then I went back through all the words that I had crossed out and just made sure that there wasn't anything that I was missing that maybe I didn't feel like had importance, but actually was necessary to get me where I wanted to go. So let me give you a personal example. For me, it was health. As I was reading through all of these lists of values, health was something that came up. And initially, I was like, whatever, that's not that important. But when I went back through that list and I thought about all of the things that I wanted to do with my life, or all of the experience. And I mean, these weren't big, lavish ideas. It was simple things like living healthy with my family for a long time, like being there to take care of my son as he continues into adulthood, like, wanting to travel as I continue to age. Like, as I thought about the things I wanted to do, it became really apparent really fast that if I wasn't making health a priority or a value, that it was likely going to suffer, because I wouldn't be on purpose or intentionally taking care of my health. And so some of those words got brought in because of that. So you've got your core words in the groups that you've put together. You've gone back through your list of eliminations to make sure that you're not missing something that's actually mission critical for you to get done or experience what it is that you want to get experience. And then you start looking at what's the handful of words that really matter, right? Really, really matter. Because you can't have a values list that's like 15 or 20 words. It's too many. The idea is to simplify things. So pick 5 or 6 words and make those the words that matter for you. The reason that this helps you when you're making decisions making is because now you've got true north. So let me give you a super simple example using health, which is one of my values. Because I value being healthy and I am defining myself as a healthy person, I make different decisions about when and how much to drink, when and how much to eat, right? Whether I'm going to the gym, how often am I going into the gym? What work am I doing when I don't go to the gym? Am I moving my body in particular ways? Am I sleeping well? And then expanding that even more and including emotional health, spiritual health, work-life balance health. Like, how am I healthy, holistically healthy, and evaluating those areas of my life. And now I get to make easier decisions about what to do when I'm presented with a scenario where there are a couple of different options. a lot of this becomes easier because you're bringing into awareness, you're making yourself consciously aware of what it is that matters to you. And that's what's different about running on automatic beliefs, which is what most of us do most of the time. When we're not aware of what we think about something or how something is important to us, then we make decisions without conscious awareness. Like, our brains are like huge supercomputers, colossal cosmic power. But we shrink it down into this tiny little space because we're not actually using the awareness that we've been given in the frontal cortex of our brains. We need to bring this stuff online. Like, we need to boot it up. We have to bring it out of the subconscious into the conscious mind. And the way to do that is to do some value work. Now, when something comes up, you can say, I'm sorry, that's actually not what I'm going to do, because that isn't what's important to me. And I know it's not important to me because I decided. I sat down and purposefully looked at this shit, and I made the decision that this was important to me. I want to give you another example of a couple of my values are being intentional, being healthy, being eager, which is really important to me, connection, growth, and a new word that's come up is integrity. Integrity is a good word that I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit in this video too, because integrity was in this big group of trust and truth and honesty and those kinds of words. But to me, integrity was a word that threaded through what was important, the rest of the value words that I was using. Like, without integrity, then this whole thing collapses. For me, that's why I picked that word. I also had a lot of experiences this year where I was coming face to face with how I was not making decisions for myself, or I've shown up in ways where I short-sold myself to other people or other situations, and in doing so created environments where I had resentment or anger, and that was on me. It was on me because I wasn't coming from a place of personal integrity. Integrity is also my word for 2024, but that'll be coming in another video. So really sit down and do this work. Like I said, this took me a week to do. This was not a fast process, and it's not going to likely be a fast process for you. You can't anticipate that you're going to put this off. You're going to procrastinate. You're going to find reasons to not do it. You're going to think, oh no, I've got to feed kids, or oh no, I've got this project at work, or oh no, I've got to go get my car washed or do laundry. And if you hit, I need to do laundry instead of doing value work, excuses have entered. So really make this a priority. Do this work. Spend time on it before the beginning of the year so that you can set yourself up in a way that's powerful and profound as we move into 2024. So that is the video for today. I hope it's helpful for you guys. I would love to know what your values are if you have them, or if there's any other topic that you are interested in considering on this channel, please drop it in the comments below. We can take a look at it. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content in the future. And until then, or until next time, consider your life and be on purpose. Bye-bye.